you, unlike many people that say, you need to use AI, and then when you ask them specifically how they're applying it, they say, well, I asked ChatGPT questions. You're actually leveraging it in a scalable way at the enterprise level. And so, if you could talk about, I know there's several companies you have, but talk about Braintrust in particular, and Braintrust Air, the AI recruiting platform.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started Braintrust back in 2018. So
Mhm.
we've been hacking away here for a while.
Yeah.
We started out as like a talent-owned marketplace. So it was focused initially just on kind of enterprise-grade technical talent. So think software engineers, product managers, designers, security engineers, AI engineers, and we would match them either for short contracts, long contracts, or full-time over to mostly Fortune 1000 companies. You mentioned some of our logos: Google, Bank of America, Nestle, Porsche, Nike, Volkswagen, um, and a bunch more. And we that business grew really quickly when we started, because I don't know if you remember back in 2019, 2018, 19, 20, there was this like what they were calling a war for technical talent, right? You just, unless you were a big tech company, you just couldn't find these people. And so we plugged that gap in the market and grew pretty quickly to just, north of 100 million in revenue. And then, the interest rates shot up in 2022 and everybody went on a hiring freeze at the same time. It was horrifying. And so we're a software company at our core. I'm a software engineer by training. And so we started building AI tools to automate different pieces of the marketplace. So onboarding talent, screening talent, matching talent to opportunities, and then actually interviewing them live, like over video, like we are
Hmm.
now. And that all those tools culminated into what we call Braintrust Air. And so we plug that into our marketplace, and it makes hiring much easier. It screens you. You get post a job on Monday morning, you get 1,000 applicants by Tuesday. This will Air sorts through and finds like the best 100 maybe that could be qualified for the job based on their
Okay.
skills and experience, and then actually reaches out and interviews them for you. And you preset the questions, or it'll come up with the questions for you. You
Yep.
can tweak them. But you set the criteria that you're looking for, and it will reach out and do a live video interview for 30, 45, maybe an hour. And during the interview, it's building a scorecard. So it's built on LLM technology. So it really understands what you're saying, what the candidate's saying. It's not just, read a question, record the answer, read a question, and then a human has to go watch all that video later. That's not what this is. So it does the interview, creates the scorecards, and then it hands back the best 5 or 6 or 7 back to the hiring manager. And then he or she can just pick it up and, post the job Monday morning. By Tuesday afternoon, you've got the best 5 already interviewed. Then you go talk to you. So you have 5 conversations instead of, 50 or 75. And so it's a huge time saver. We started it with the very, high tech roles that we specialize in at Braintrust. But then our clients were like, yeah, this is great, but what about hiring accountants and paralegals or warehouse workers or nurses or substitute teachers? These are all roles we now screen for, and we sell Braintrust there as a standalone product. Plugs right into your ATS, your careers page, and it can, it can screen inbound candidates, or if it's like the nursing industry, there's a shortage of nurses, right? So
Nonstop.
nurses don't apply for jobs. Jobs
Yeah.
apply to them, right?
Yeah.
And so Air will actually integrate with your ATS, text nurses that you have in your database, ask them if they're interested in a contract. If they say yes, it'll call their cell phone and talk to them for 10 minutes, and then push them through right back into your ATS, and say they're ready to take this contract. So that's Braintrust Air.
That's amazing. Adam, is it, when you said they do like a video, is it an AI avatar that's interviewing them, or is it just like a blank screen with questions? What is that experience like for the candidate?
Yeah, that's so we tested quite a few options on that one. We tested an avatar, tested very poorly. It was very
Mm,
distracting to talk
mhm.
to something that looks like a human, and we're not trying to trick anybody, obviously,
Sure,
right? But
sure.
so what ended up testing really well is it's our logo in the center of the screen. Then there's a
Yep,
waveform that moves as the AI speaks, and
yep,
then the words the AI is speaking come out one at a time, so you can read and hear
yep.
the interview at the same time, which is great if you're English as a second language, or
Sure.
maybe your hearing isn't great. It's really like adaptable that way.
Yeah, yeah. And then it sounds like when the nurses are reached out to, because as you said, jobs apply to nurses or positions, that is probably voice AI then that's doing that over the
Yeah,
phone.
that's all voice over cell
Yeah.
phone. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. So, can you take us back to because so many people are, think that AI came about in 2022 when ChatGPT, allowed public access. But these LLMs and the technology has been around since the early 2010s, if not earlier. When did you get involved with it and get access to it, I should say?
Yeah. So I mean, LLMs, the large language models built on artificial neural networks, those are relatively new. I would say 2020 is when
Mm,
GPT-2 came out. 2021, um, not widely used and not particularly useful. They became really useful in like 22, 23.
yeah.
But but machine learning and transformer technology, you're right, has been around really for since the early 2010s. Not particularly useful for things other than statistical analysis, predictive analytics. So we have been using that for a while, but yeah, we were one of the first applications, commercial applications, to actually build on LLMs.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess the question was, how were you getting access? Were you building your own database, your own machine learning databases and programming on your own? Was that de novo, or were you able to tap into other existing, a university or something to rent time on their, how's that? I guess what I'm trying to figure out is how did that work prior to 2022 or 2021 when it started becoming democratized?
Yeah, I mean, you would. So most of the stuff is open source. So you have to have a great AI engineer, which they're very expensive and hard to find these days. But we've got a handful on staff here that are phenomenal, and so they'll build. An LLM itself, it's you're just talking to a big database essentially, and it might be telling you the right answer. It might not be. We built a very thick layer on top that ingests all the resumes we've ever seen, all the job posting, all the data that powered our marketplace for 3, 4, 5 years. We trained our interview layer air on all of those resumes. So it really knows what it's looking for. We train it on all these different roles, so it knows what questions to ask. What makes a nurse qualified for something or not, what makes a Java developer a good fit for Bank of America or a good fit for Google. So all that training sits above the LLM on our side.